Grawlix is a collaboration between Azelle and myself.
It's a band, just Travis and myself making music.
And it's based on what I consider an expletive. Like if you stub your toe, you're like, oh shit. So Grawlix is that word that when you hear our music, you want to be like, oh, that's that, that next level stuff.
So we do everything over the internet, basically. Just sending each other files and songs and ideas and stamps, tracks, vocals, doesn't matter, like anything pretty much. That's how it works.
We usually vibe off of each other very well. So like, I'll come up with some chords and I'll send them to Azelle, or he'll make a beat, he'll send it to me, or he'll make chords, send it to me. We just swap sounds, and since we think alike, everything usually fits together. So if I put down some drums, it'll sound like what he was gonna do, or if he puts down some chords, it'll sound like what I was gonna do. And it makes the creative process easy when you work that way.
I'm originally from Brazil, but I'm also French from my mom. So I'm half French, half Brazilian, and I'm actually in Melbourne right now. I've relocated to Richmond, Victoria in Australia. So I'm from Australia.
I was born in DC, Washington, DC, raised in this Northern Virginia, close to DC, but I live in Richmond, Virginia.
Well, basically, one of my good friends, Michael Colombier, he's a video music director from Paris. When I was living in Paris, he already used to be like into T-Fox's music. He basically went on a trip in US and came back with some T-Fox beat tapes and albums and stuff, and then he hooked me up with some of his material, and I got completely hooked up on the artist and the style. Everything that he was doing for me was just amazing. I was just blown away. So my idea was actually to work with him, collaborating. I don't know, like musically, just making 1 or 2 songs. That was my first idea. I never thought that in the first place we would actually get around and like make a band, if you want to call it like that. I never thought Grawlix would be what it is today, but yeah, that's how we met, basically, just through a friend.
I met Azelle through director Michael Colombier. He came to visit once, and he was listening to my music. He was like, oh man, I should really hook you up with my boy Azelle. You guys will really get along, and you have the same ear for music. I was like, cool. And I hooked up with Azelle. I was like, why you want to work with me? Because your stuff is awesome, and I'm just like this little guy on the side. But he felt that I was good enough to work with, so it was an honor.
Like, we work with Rhodes. We have a Rhodes each, a drum kit, a bunch of synthesizer, MPC 3000, just basically anything that we can put our hands on, guitars, bass guitars, you just name it, like percussions, anything basically. But as a sequencer, I'm actually using Presonus Studio One at the moment. I've been using a lot of different softwares, and this is actually the most reliable for me, and that's what I like to use. But basically we use pretty much anything that we can put our hands on.
The Rhodes piano, guitars, Azelle has drums. We both have, I guess beat machines. Anything we can get our hands on. I think Azelle is like the MacGyver of music, because he can take like anything, any piece of software, reconfigure it to make it his own. that is something that a lot of people don't really know how to do. So that gives him an advantage. And I tend to work more along the lines of like analog stuff. So, you know, I'm more just playing instruments, guitar and piano and things like that. So we complement each other very well.
Basically, whatever sounds good for us, you know, it's just a reunion of every single type of music that influenced us. And Travis and I are very much into like progressive rock type of music. JD, Madlib, Mos Def, Common, whatever, you know, there's so many people that I could name, but I don't think we sound like them, and I wouldn't say that we sound like them. I just think we're actually just, you know, like everything mixed up. But our main inspiration would be progressive rock, if I would have to define it like that. But we just do hip hop, and we were trying to find a way to name what we're doing with Travis the other day, and I think we came up with something like progressive hip hop, even if it doesn't mean anything.
Whatever we feel like that day. Like if we have been heavily influenced by progressive rock, Grawlix will sound like progressive rock with a little bit of us in it. If we've been listening to like, I don't know, electronic, Grawlix will sound like electronic that day.
But I think that's where we're trying to head right now. It's just to do something a little bit more progressive and not just like a bunch of, you know, just loops and things like that.
And sometimes we mix them up. So it'll be like electronic progressive rock or jazzy, I don't know, classical music or something like that. So we can basically make it whatever we want because we listen to everything.
The future of Grawlix, where I see ourselves right now is, I mean, we been wanting to do a little bit more than just being in this musical thing that we're doing right now. We actually really enjoy what we're doing, but I mean, I'm speaking for Travis too when I'm saying this, but I think that what we want to do, we want to work with different artists, just be like a production team, you know, like be recognized as a production team, and you know, just working with different artists. And the ultimate goal, like, that we wanted to actually do is also to score movies and things like that, because we're really into that kind of vibe, like music score, I mean movie scoring, and you know, everything that is a bit more technical for us than just like making music for a bunch of artists, you know. But we also enjoy doing that. Like we want to touch everything that is musical, pretty much. That's what we want to do, because I think that when we're together, the possibilities are limitless, and we just can go like anywhere, you know. We just like work and make music, and every day, and we have so many material right now to work with that we're always trying to find ways to go further and places to go. And I think the next step for us is first to be working as a production team, and then like if we get the chance to work with movie productions and things like this.
The future of Grawlix is to take music, I guess, to a different place. You know, you kind of learn from the past, and in learning from the past and like people that came before us, we'll get the knowledge to take the music further into the future. And then by doing that, I think the people that come after us can learn from us, and you know, the music will just get better. Yeah, as far as music, I think that's what Grawlix will be. You know, we want to do other things too, but I think just to progress as musicians is the main goal.